They thought I didn't notice. They thought silence meant ignorance, that quiet meant weakness. They laughed, they whispered, they assumed I would never find out. But silence is not empty. Silence is watching. Silence is remembering. Silence waits patiently for the right moment. And the right moment doesn't always arrive with noise. Sometimes it comes quietly, deliberately, and when it does, it changes everything. I first noticed it in small ways. A glance that lingered too long. A smile that was forced, just a little too precise. Conversations that paused whenever I entered a room. I questioned myself at first. Maybe I was imagining it. Maybe I was overthinking. But my instincts were right. They were talking about me, shaping a version of me behind my back, believing I would never know. And for a moment I felt the sting of betrayal. I wanted to confront, to demand answers, to correct the narrative. But then I paused and realized something powerful. Silence could be stronger than reaction. Every time they spoke, I observed. I didn't interrupt. I didn't challenge. I just listened. Every slip of the tongue, every subtle exaggeration, every careless misstatement revealed more than confrontation ever could. Silence forced them to expose themselves. And as I listened, I began to understand not just what they were saying, but why they were saying it, and how they underestimated me completely. Their confidence was built on the assumption that I would respond, that I would react, that I would give them the satisfaction of knowing they mattered enough to disturb me. I refused to give them that. It was not easy to remain quiet. Every day I felt the urge to speak, to tell the truth, to explain, justify, clarify. Nights were restless with words rehearsed, conversations that would never take place, and arguments that I would never voice. But with each passing day, I realized that speaking was not necessary. Silence had its own rhythm, its own logic, its own power. In silence, I could build. In silence, I could grow. In silence, I could prepare myself for the moment when action, not reaction, would matter. I focused on private victories. I honed skills that would make me stronger. I studied situations, patterns, and behaviors. I prepared for opportunities that could arise, unobserved, unseen. Growth became invisible, and with invisibility came freedom. They assumed that quiet meant stagnation, that I was unaware, that I was powerless. But their assumptions were their own undoing. While they wasted energy on gossip and underestimation, I moved forward, quietly but decisively. The power of silence is subtle. It confuses those who expect reaction. It drains energy from those who rely on assumptions. It forces people to confront themselves. Without a single word, I had created a space where they doubted, questioned, and hesitated. Confidence gave way to caution. Boldness turned into second-guessing. They were no longer leading the narrative, I was, and I didn't need to prove it. The results would speak for themselves. Opportunities began to reveal themselves. Doors that once seemed closed opened, not because I demanded them, but because I had prepared silently to seize them when they arose. Skills I had nurtured in privacy became visible in outcomes. Decisions I had made cautiously and deliberately bore fruit. Every small, private action accumulated into a presence that they could neither ignore nor undermine. They assumed they controlled the perception of me, but in reality, I had been controlling my own narrative all along, quietly and intentionally. I realized then that true strength does not shout. True power does not demand attention. It exists deliberate and patient, and manifests in ways that are undeniable. Reaction gives the advantage to others. Silence and preparation give the advantage to yourself. In every instance, the quieter I remained, the more influence I held. An influence unseen is far more powerful than any overt display. They underestimated the quiet observer, the patient listener, the person who grows when no one is watching. That underestimation became my greatest asset. And then came the subtle shift. They began to approach me differently. The jokes became less frequent. The casual remarks were measured. The glances were tentative. Their energy had changed because they finally sensed that the person they thought was silent, passive, and unaware was in fact deliberate, observant, and far ahead. I didn't need confrontation. The change in behavior alone was enough to signal the power shift. Silence had already won. Action was now only a formality. I embraced patience. I detached emotion from strategy. The hurt, the anger, the disappointment. All of it was acknowledged internally but never allowed to dictate external behavior. My focus remained on preparation, growth, and understanding. Every time they tried to test me, I observed instead. Every attempt to provoke a reaction failed. Every misjudgment they made became evidence that I had the upper hand. They could not control me. They could not predict me. They had no idea how far ahead I had already moved. In time, results became visible. Achievements that required skill, confidence, and strategy began to appear. People noticed even if they didn't fully understand. Those who had whispered, judged, and doubted had no answer, no influence over these outcomes. Their underestimation had created the conditions for my quiet dominance. Success had become inevitable, not because of loud confrontation or revenge, but because I had allowed silence, observation, and deliberate growth to guide me. They had prepared me for my own rise without even realizing it. The greatest lesson from this journey was clear. Silence is not inaction. Silence is strategy. It protects, empowers, and strengthens. It allows observation, it cultivates patience, it builds influence. The loudest people rarely achieve as much as the quiet, patient, and deliberate. Their words may sting temporarily, but results endure. And when those results manifest, the power of silence becomes unmistakable. They cannot ignore it, they cannot counter it, and they cannot diminish it. I let them keep their assumptions, their whispers, and their laughter. It no longer mattered. The victories I achieved, the confidence I cultivated, the calm authority I carried, all of it was independent of their perception. Their judgments had no weight. Their opinions held no influence. My path, my growth, my success were mine alone. And in that independence, I discovered the deepest power of all. That quiet, patient, deliberate action can overcome doubt, gossip, and underestimation far more effectively than noise, anger, or confrontation ever could. By the end, I understood the full meaning of silent payback. It is not revenge in the traditional sense. It is not about retaliation or proving anyone wrong. It is about mastering oneself, observing others, and moving forward with intentional strength. It is about letting time reveal the truth, letting growth speak for itself, and allowing patience to do the work that impulsive words cannot. Silence becomes the most potent tool when paired with strategy, preparation, and calm resolve. It transforms underestimation into opportunity, whispers into reflection, and doubt into recognition of quiet strength. And so, as I continued forward, I carried nothing but clarity, confidence, and purpose. The people who underestimated me remained in their own assumptions, and I moved ahead, unstoppable, deliberate, and powerful in silence. The lesson was complete. Silence had won. Quiet patience had triumphed. And the greatest victories, the ones that matter most, had been achieved without a single word wasted, without a single confrontation, and without needing anyone's acknowledgement. The power of silence is absolute. It is enduring, and it is mine.